These aren't simply arbitrary embellishments. They were restricted, and what Alan Shane Maximin wears gets him fined each single day. See, everything began in 2018, at the point when Alan was playing for overall quite even. However, it was the start of his profession. Alan wasn't attempting to be an unessential job player everlastingly. He was attempting to become a web sensation, and well, coming into a match against Bordeaux, better believe it, he could have been typical and attempted to have his best game, yet rather man chose we should get renowned for breaking the rules. See, a couple of months before Alan marked an elite arrangement with Jaguar, and assuming he was found wearing some other brand, he'd be compelled to address the cost. Yet see, Alan said an arrangement he was attempting to turn into an overall peculiarity, so he came out shaking a Gucci headband, and Alan went so popular for this what he wore on his head put him more on the map than his play on the field. And in the event that you don't accept me, simply investigate his Instagram. It's like he won't ever stop wearing headbands since he turned into a moving point. Anybody know what's more insane than that? Alan's colleagues conceded that because he wears them to practice and it's against his Jaguar bargain, he gets fined €100 each single day. Yet basically Alan rock in. This made Gucci millions back in 2014. What different players wore cost the organization billions. See, football was coming into the most watched occasion of the year, the World Cup, and at the time Sony was hoping to become a web sensation subsequent to dropping their spick and span earphones, and what better way to turn into a smash hit than having the world's most renowned competitors shaking them. And Sony had recently marked a $280 million arrangement with FIFA, making it against the guidelines for players to wear some other brand, so they weren't simply inquiring football stars to wear their earphones. Sony was constraining them to, and just to ensure the players adhered to the guidelines, Sony gave free earphones to each single group when football players begun pulling up to the fields and went through their typical pregame schedules. They understood these earphones were ass. However, listen, that is not even the most insane part. Words began spreading about exactly how crappy these earphones truly were, and players realized they needed to support what they trusted in. So, only a couple of days before the World Cup, one man gambled with everything. Simply take a gander at Neymar. Man so persuasive, and more than 34 million perspectives later, Neymar put Beats by Dre on top of the world, and due to that, so unlawful in light of the fact that what David Beckham wore turned out to be so disputable. He wasn't just restricted by FIFA, he almost confronted a half-year in jail. See, back in 2002, Beckham was assumed control over football and drove Britain to the World Cup. Yet we as a whole know Beckham, man, he adores the spotlight, so he just needed to attempt and be a trailblazer, and at the World Cup he came into his matches against Denmark and Brazil appearing something that no other competitor had done previously. Furthermore, most likely reason it's unlawful, however, in any case, he appeared wearing custom Adidas Hunters, and I mean, they don't appear as though whatever could have you facing prison time. However, the truth was Beckham's fans were pissed, since his shoes weren't simply made of something you'd find at Champs. His kicks were made of calfskin, also known as kangaroo, and it turns out all hunting the creature or items produced using them was unlawful in California. And just in the wake of marking a arrangement to join the Los Angeles Cosmic System, Beckham learned about the law, so he was in trouble. Not exclusively were his spikes dubious, they could get him fined $5,000 by Cali government or face a half-year prison time each and every time he has a shoemate. And clearly our kid Beckham's a shrewd person. I mean, he has football to play, he don't got time for all that, so he called up his young men at Adidas and had the spikes upgraded with a new engineered Material watching out for his feet to. Fans blissful him out of cuffs and at least what he wore didn't get prohibited by a whole nation like Brazil saw. Coming into the 2014 World Cup, Nike cooperated with the group to plan some shiny new children. However, there was one major issue from Pelé to Neymar, and in the middle of between the groups generally wrapped their notable yellow, green, and blue to match the nation's banner, and these varieties have become so critical to the group it's turned into an old rule to never transform it. Yet obviously Nike didn't get the update, since coming into the new year they had a go at stirring things up. Furthermore, emerged with something totally unique, and Neymar turned into the essence of Nike's new mission. He displayed an all-dark work of art that said Brazil. Furthermore, had 5 stars addressing the country's reality cup titles on the front, with the nation's identification on the left sleeve. And at first players loved this new look, so the power outage unit was supported. However, it didn't take long for individuals to begin censoring the regalia. See all through the nation's whole presence. It's been custom to wear yellow to home games and blue to away games. Such countless Brazilians felt that totally changing everything around was rude, and persuaded the Brazilian football organization to, in a real sense, boycott the pullovers. However, all things considered, essentially the pullovers wouldn't have them removed from football like what Wang Shinchao caused what he wore back in 2018. In a real sense, got him prohibited from the game. At the time, Wang and China were going toward Myanmar, and a cordial and well, Wang was simply taking it simple. Man, he was cooling on the seat until his number was called at the 61st minute. Mentor Jimbao simply needed to see what our young men got, and well, I think Wang took that excessively in a real sense, cause he had it on him. When Wang retreated onto the field, he pulled out his telephone and acknowledged he didn't drop a like and buy in the feed. Humiliating. Come on, don't be like Wang. Man, don't transform yourself into an image. So what are you doing? Click it. In any case, he likewise pulled something strange out of his sock, and with cameras focusing on him from each bearing, there was a 0% chance he was moving away with one or the others. The point at which he pulled out his most valued belonging, a jewel neckband, and he wore it until the end of the game. Yet I simply trust 20 minutes of wearing a chain for, in a real sense, no great explanation. And everything was worth the effort, cause right away after the game the CFA accused him of a fine worth more than the jewelry itself, and they restricted him from football for a whole year. Ludicrous. However, $3,000 to a player like Rafinha, that isn't anything, cause what he was found wearing in a real sense got him fined $1 million. We should make a stride back to 2013, where the contention started, and at the time Rafinha was a predominant winger for Barcelona, so every brand needed a piece of him. Yet his eyes were on a restrictive agreement from Adidas, and better believe it, marking that arrangement constrained him to wear Adidas spikes just yet. For millions of dollars, he most certainly had no issue doing that, and incidentally, right when he bound up his Adidas, Rafinha happened to turn into a hero, an Olympic gold medalist, and an excellent companion to Lionel Messi. So Rafinha felt like he was on top of the world. I intend what could turn out badly. Well, as time went on, Rafinha understood his shoe bargain turned into his vocation's greatest slip-up. While he was wearing the spikes, Rafinha begun experiencing destroying leg tendon wounds that would drive him to sit out for a really long time. So in light of the fact that he was unable to be on the field addressing Adidas, the brand just wouldn't uphold him, and things were getting abnormal. It was like the organization was plotting on his defeat. So at the point when it was drawing nearer